Let me tell you a story about being unemployed. Twice. The first time, I decided to quit. It was my first career job out of college, and I had been there for 3.5 years. Things were really bad at this place, and I was in an environment that actively wrecked my mental health. Multiple factors contributed to that. The work was nothing at all like it had been advertised to me before I started. I had a boss that made things extremely difficult for me, and my workspace was a repurposed storage closet with dim lighting. So yeah, not great. It was a recipe for pretty severe anxiety and depression. It got so bad that I decided it wasn't worth it to stay there anymore, even if I had to risk going without money for a while. So I left without another job lined up. I don't blame you if you think that sounds like a stupid decision, but I had thought about it for a few months leading up to quitting. And because of that, I was able to find a different job that was way better 9 months later. I was so much happier and my career was going the way I wanted. At this new job, I got to work on things that were genuinely interesting to me. I got to use the skills that I got from college. I had a boss that was amazing and super supportive. Everything was going so well. That is, until I was unemployed the second time. This time, I got laid off. The whole place shut down. I had been there a year and a half, so it felt like it was ending just as soon as it started. This was much more recent. Like, I'm still in the middle of it right now. The difference this time is, I've been here before. I didn't feel the same sinking feeling I would have had in the past. I didn't feel pressured to jump to the first job that came up, even if I would hate it. I felt a real sense of calm and purpose. And there's a reason I still feel this way. I have so many valuable takeaways from being unemployed a few years ago that still impact me to this day. So here are the top things I use to survive unemployment. Think about what you really want. Whether you were let go or decided to quit, it's really important to know what you want from here. Yes, we all want to make money, but that's not the question. What do you actually want from your work? Do you want flexible hours? Do you want to make tons of money? Do you want to pursue other training or education? Do you want to try creative work or some wild idea that you've had for a long time? Most importantly, what could you see yourself doing that you wouldn't just be tolerating, but actually thriving in? That is key in motivating you. Budget out your money and your time. It almost goes without saying that you'll need to know how much money you have for expenses each month because there's a hard limit to how long you can go without income. But I think it's just as important to budget out how you'll spend your time each day. It's really easy to fall into the pattern of applying here and there, but then filling the rest of your time with Netflix or TikTok or whatever else it is that can eat up all your time. Think of the best ways you can spend this new free time that will at least take steps towards accomplishing things that are important to you. Improve your skills. Why not spend some of this time to focus on skills that will help you in your future work? You can improve your writing, you can learn graphic design, you can learn programming, which is what I'm doing, or really any other skill that will benefit you in some way. You don't have to fill every waking hour of the day, but now is the perfect time to dedicate to those skills that you wouldn't be able to work on otherwise. Keep applying, but use the time you have to do things you wouldn't normally do. Apply a ton. Expect to get rejected a vast majority of the time, especially if you're early on in your career. Sometimes even dozens or hundreds of applications will get rejected. Believe it or not, that's just normal. That isn't what matters though, because what you're looking for is one acceptance. You can leverage connections you have too, so don't be afraid to ask friends and family if they know somebody. But I think we all know you can't spend literally 8 hours a day applying. I mean, you can, but I don't even think that's a good use of time. At least part of your day can be spent doing things that you wouldn't have done during the workday. Go to the park and walk around in the middle of the afternoon. Visit a library or garden or museum. Close your eyes and picture where you would want to be right now if you didn't have any responsibilities. And then go do it. It never hurts to invest in the relationships you have. Maybe you were always too busy to see your grandparents, or maybe you always had to cut visits short with your best friend, or you didn't get to be with your significant other as much as you wanted. Use this time to be a great sibling or friend, grandkid, spouse, whatever it is you are to them. Give them calls when they're free. Take the initiative to plan a trip that you've always talked about. Send them a surprise text or give them a surprise gift. It's never a bad use of time to show the people close to you that you care about them. Lean into your support systems. Speaking of people, lean into your communities. Don't give in to the temptation to feel ashamed or avoidant when you're unemployed. Most people will be a lot more understanding than you think. I know not everyone has family they can turn to or even close friends, but chances are you can think of at least 1 or 2 people you could lean on. And if you can, don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Your parents or siblings, former coworkers, people from your book club, whoever it is, they are a huge part in keeping you sane during unemployment. Don't beat yourself up if things aren't working out right now. There will be plenty of times where you feel like nothing you do is really working. And that's okay. Let yourself feel that way for a little while. But remember that as long as you're being intentional with your time, you're doing it right. Maybe you've heard that it's terrible to have gaps on your resume, but it's really not the end of the world. I can prove that from experience. So I'm guessing if you're watching this, you're currently unemployed or you at least know somebody who is. Statistically, 40% of people will experience unemployment at some point in their career. It's okay. It happens to a lot of us. Remember that you're not alone. Don't give in to the panic or shame. It's obviously going to look different for each person. I'm not going to claim that everything I said is feasible for everyone. If you need money now, you need it now. But at the very least, take a deep breath and think about what you really want from your work, even if you just have to fill the gap in the meantime. Worrying about it constantly won't make anything better. Like I said, I'm living this out right now. Am I guaranteed that anything's going to work out for me? Of course not. But I know from experience that sticking it out is worth it. I'm pursuing software development and I'm taking online courses every day. I'm spending more time with my family and friends while I can, and I have some trips planned with them in the next few weeks. I budgeted my time and money to work towards the goals I want, with the main one being freedom from the typical 9-to-5 job. With dedication and patience, it's absolutely possible.